are in the uncanny valley now after that for an intro. And not surprisingly, and perhaps metaphorically, there are a lot of dead trees. This one has rotted at the base and the entire tree has fallen over. And the same has happened with this tree. The tree did not die branch by branch, leaving the trunk, which would in theory be the strongest part of the tree, standing. Instead, the entire thing has fallen over. Now that's convenient in some ways because it lets light through the canopy to help with the growth of smaller, younger trees. So here at the base of this tree, we see Grifola frondosa, maitake, sprouting. Is that what weakened the root system of the tree and caused the entire tree to fall over? Well, I don't really think so. That's not really the nature of that particular fungus. But we do see a clue on this tree where the bark has fallen away. We see the telltale sign, the calling card, the sure evidence, the black rhizomorphs of Armillaria gallica, a saprophytic fungus that causes a condition known as Armillaria root rot, which is generally thought to be a secondary pathogen, so something like a drought or another fungus or an insect or a fire would have first weaken these trees, and then that would allow Armillaria gallica to breach the tree's defenses and begin girdling it. This is what the fruiting bodies look like, the mushroom, keeping in mind that the mushroom is only the fruit or the reproductive structure of a much larger organism that lives hidden in a substrate, either the ground itself or in dead wood like this. Armillaria generally causes this white rot that you see in the heartwood of this tree, weakening the base, the heartwood at the base of the tree to such a degree that the entire tree will fall over. And it opens the canopy to allow light in. But if there's a tree next to your house and it falls over like that, that wouldn't be very convenient. Here we see again the entire heartwood, which is supposed to provide the structural support of the tree, is entirely eaten away with that white rot. So, if you see those mushrooms coming up around a tree near your home, that tree needs to be taken down safely before it blows over in a storm. Alright, beautiful fall day on the Iowa River. We only get so many of those in a year. But I was pleased to see that large schools of suckers had survived through the summer, including some really nice sized short-head red horse and northern hog. Now those will be food for the river's largest pike and smallmouth and walleye. But they're interesting fish in their own right. I'm moving upstream from the Steamboat Rock impoundment, which probably has the largest pike in the river, are probably in the impoundment right now, but being a fly fisherman, I don't really want to fish the impoundments. So this is a little bin pool below a rocky riffle that had a decent pike in it. By Iowa standards, of course. This isn't Canada. They live fast and die young here. And that's why I'm naming this one Sid Vicious. I'm moving upstream under the Highway 20 bridge and into an area I used to call the hairpin. There was a public access in that area, and it was a good place to launch from because there were a lot of suckers and even secondary pools there tended to hold some big fish. But it was an easement on private land, and people trashed it out to the degree that they eventually closed it to the public, which makes it hard to get access to the hairpin now. But there's not that many people on it anymore, and it's seems to be sort of a refuge for some of the river's larger fish. Just like here, this isn't a major bend pool in it. It's got a beauty of a smallmouth in it. Really nice fish. That's why you come here. That's what it's all about. Big old bronze back on a fall day on the Iowa River. We got a little guy there. Does it have another good smallmouth? Looks like it does. That's three nice fish, two of them good size, out of the same little pocket there. And they are slippery creatures. There's a better look. Another bronze beauty there. Is there one more in there? Looks like there is. A little smaller, but still a decent fish. Every hour is golden hour in October. Autumn light, clear flowing river, and hungry smallmouth. In Iowa, you really can't ask for much more than that. Another secondary pocket here. It's got a little pike in it, little hammer handle. There we go, major bend pool. Plenty of rocks in it. Yeah, that's what it's all about. Big old bronze back. It's football season, and when I say football, I mean fat smallmouth. Well, those fall days are short. You gotta make the most of them. So, here we are on the impoundment above the Boone Waterworks Dam on the Des Moines River. Water was a little muddy. I was going for a carp, but could not see them well. But I did find one and tracked it all the way down to the bridge, and it turned around and then came back. Well, I finally got a good presentation and a need out of it. And he put up quite a fight. It lasted, I mean, it would have taken this entire video plus some if I had shown the fight. Trying to run up into those log jams and get tangled up. You can hear that reel screaming. On and on it went, and I fought him way upstream from this point, but finally got him back. Yeah, nice big heavy fish there. What a river donkey. Look at the amount of black spore dust on the ground underneath that mushroom. So this is Coprinus comatus, which is one of the ink cap mushrooms. Common name is shaggy mane. And we are beside the trail, the bike trail that comes off the end of McCoe's Road in the city of Boone, Iowa. And the whole McCoe's Park area, yes, that is the name of it, is a pretty good area for mushrooms. You'll remember I was talking in a previous episode about the Valley of Hens. It's similar to that area, not quite as steep and without a lot of the groundwater seeps and some of the features of that area. But if you're an older person and you can't hike that far through that sort of rugged terrain, then McCoe's Park in Boone lets you drive, right up to the trails and just hike a short distance to a hillside that still will have a lot of interesting mushrooms on it. And it's also not as difficult as, say, Ledges, which is nearby. Ledges State Park. This condition where the gills of a mushroom turn into this black liquid as a spore dispersal strategy is called deliquescence. So we've seen here several stages of deliquescence. So this being fall, we do have Calvatia gigantea, the giant puffball. This is the only puffball that I eat. Some puffballs could be confused for the egg phase of an amanita, and I don't pick any of the small ones, but these ones I do pick. I don't really care for the taste of them that much. I'm sure if I were in the wilderness starving or something, I'd be happy to find one, but as it is, they're not really my favorite mushroom. To pick them, you'll want to just slice it open like this and check the inside to make sure that it's all white on the inside. If it's beginning to turn yellow, that means that the spores are mature and it's really kind of past the edible stage. So we'll take this home and give her a rinse. Now there's all sorts of recipes. The thing to keep in mind with these puffballs is the main structure of these things is made of chitin rather than like wheat gluten. It's not. Some people have compared it to bread and said you could make French toast out of it and so forth. But chitin is a much more rubbery thing than anything that's involved in bread. I mean, do you want French toast that's rubbery and tastes like mushrooms? It just really doesn't work in my opinion. And I tried a few sautés, didn't really care for any of them, and also I tried deep frying them and didn't really care for it. But the one thing that I did do that I actually liked was just cut a chunk of it out, wrap it in prosciutto, and then wrap that in a dough and deep fried it. And just kind of a basic pie crust dough. And that was actually not too bad. I don't know, it still wasn't great, but it was probably the best giant puffball recipe I've made, so. I don't know, I guess I'd give it a 5 or 6 out of 10, maybe. Anyway, that's a start, an idea that someone who's a better cook than me can develop into something probably better. Alright, that's it for this episode. From the forests and rivers of Iowa, we will see you on the next one.